Hello and welcome to today's session. I hope you're all doing amazingly well from whichever part of the world you are watching. It's the final countdown. This Sunday, I'm running the Madrid Marathon, Sunday 27th. I think this is probably my eighth or my ninth marathon. I can't remember. But the important thing is to show up, run it, and albeit at a turtle's pace. I was looking at the weather. It says 21 degrees, blue sky, sun, which is gorgeous. Madrid is such a gorgeous city when it is like that, but not for running 42 kilometers. So, good heavens, I will let you know how that goes. But today, I would like to speak about leading from the middle and why that is probably the hardest job, hands down, in hospitality. In fact, I think in any organization, but I only know wellness and hospitality. And the truth is, most of our wellness leaders are that middle manager. So we don't have a seat at the big table where the big boys and girls are seated. We are right in the middle. And many of us wellness leaders feel that we are in this kind of impossible situation. So imagine you're building a bridge that connects one end, you have your GM, your owners, all the important stakeholders in terms of business. And then at the other end, you have the team, the people who actually execute the strategy, the people who actually have a close pulse with your guests. And your job is, as a wellness leader, to manage that traffic at the same time, construct a bridge, a solid bridge. And here's the catch: you're given no blueprint. So you are expected to successfully manage traffic from both sides, increasingly heavier traffic each day, and construct a solid bridge, but no one's going to tell you how to do it. So that is what it feels like to be a wellness leader today. And today's session is about how, if you're a wellness leader in this situation, how it's not game over. It's actually there is a way around it. And here are three things I want to talk about today. The way you get around this impossible or what feels an impossible situation is firstly understanding why this middle seat feels so heavy. So, as a wellness leader, you're not at the top of the organizational chart, nor are you in the front line. But your job is to ensure that you deliver the profitability you're required, you deliver the revenue required, you deliver that guest satisfaction, as well as manage team morale, team well-being, etc. And you're expected to do that perfectly. And in a world where wellness, the whole wellness business, I think it's one of the most rapidly growing businesses out there, this transversal industry. So now you also see the word longevity being kicked in here and there. And what has happened is that the role of this wellness manager, just managing this small department 5, 6 years ago, has now become this very key pillar between what you call the GM, management, that language of strategy and business, and you're marrying it with service and well being. And you have no playbook and you have no training to successfully manage the traffic in both directions. And sometimes you're not given the resources to do so. So, yes, of course, it's difficult. And the sooner you realize that as a wellness leader, the more likely you are to stop getting squeezed when you are in this position. So, you're in the middle of that sandwich. Once you realize what this role entails, what is happening, that it is not a problem of your competence or the need for you to do more, but it's the structure that is not allowing you to do your job properly. Because if you were given the resources you needed to, you could successfully manage the traffic on both sides of the bridge as well as construct a solid foundation. So, why I say this is because many times when I speak to You wellness leaders, you're constantly blaming yourself, and you get into this self-pity kind of spiral where no, it's nothing to do with your competence. It's not a skill that you can't learn. It's just that no one's given you a playbook. No one has shown you how to successfully manage that. So once you understand why that middle seat feels so heavy, you can kind of get over yourself, not blame yourself, and you can start taking action, start asking for the resources you need, start asking for the help you need in a more fluent way instead of just drowning in self pity. And here's how you do that you do that in two steps. The first is recognizing the invisible influence you already have. So now I call that invisible influence because all of you wellness leaders, you're delivering fantastic wellness experiences. Despite whatever facilities and resources you have, you know that once a guest goes and has a wellness service, a treatment, a yoga session, whatever, as soon as they're in the hands of your team members, you know the positive impact you've had in the lives of those guests. You also know the positive impact you've had in the lives of your fellow employees just in your day to day life, just helping them. You are already making that impact. Guests are already choosing the hotel because of you, because of what you are doing on a day to day basis. So you clearly do have that influence. And I say it's invisible because you're just doing your work without actually explaining to your GM or your director of finance why you need the resources. You just say, I need this without explaining why you need it, without explaining in tangible results what impact that will have. So the role of yourself as a wellness leader is to understand that invisible influence you're already having. And in the Wellness Asset Academy, I show wellness leaders to actually, how they can do that, how they can prepare that pitch deck. And if you haven't already downloaded my one sheet strategic wellness plan, I recommend you do it. It's 100% free. It's a simple Excel sheet, which should literally take you not more than half an hour to fill out if you're sitting out in your quiet time. And that completely changes how you look at what you do. Sometimes we take for granted what we're already doing. And we assume because we speak the wellness language, because we love wellness so much, because we see the value and we know its value, that our GM will automatically know it, that all our other colleagues will already know it. They don't need to know it. It's not their job. It's your job to actually explain it to them. So when you find yourself stuck in that sandwich, know that your role has grown so quickly that no one has been able to give you the training you need. And on top of that, you're already having such a strong influence, that invisible influence, that it's your job to actually find out what impact it has on the rest of the hotel. And you know what? If you sit down with your director of finance and you sit down with your director of sales and marketing, they will take the time out if you ask them in the right way. And then lastly, what I call is focusing on the one key thing. When we are new to a role, this is what most wellness leaders do. They think that they're going to come and save everyone, right? They see a completely broken system. They want to change the whole system. They think, okay, I need to change the brand. I need to train the whole team, all this grand work that needs to be done. And there's so many things you need to do. Change the treatment menu, train all the therapists. Oh, terrible product line. We have to get this. You actually change so many things at the same time that you get completely overwhelmed and you see none of the things you want to change past the finish line. And many times you get burnt out before you actually get to that place. Now, what I recommend in the Wellness Asset Academy, I get people to focus on one thing and one thing first. Your GMs need to see results, and you need to prove those results upfront. all the time. Focus on one thing, do it incredibly well, and then go on to the next thing. Because the most important thing is not overwhelming yourself. Because when you overwhelm yourself, that is the perception that the rest, your GM, the people at the other end of the actual bridges, both sides, your team and your GM, will feel that overwhelm. Now, just to give you an example, that not many, years ago when I went back into full-time employment to be the spa director, I saw this profit and loss, and this spa had been without a leader for over 9 months. Very difficult situation. The team had done a fantastic job, but obviously we have to deliver a return on investment to owners, and the spa was at least 50 or 60% below budget. And then when I come on board, clearly my salary is not cheap, so that just puts a hole to the entire profit and loss. And I was like, oh my God, I do not have long to actually turn the situation around. But without overwhelming the team, without asking them for even more money once they've already spent on getting me on board. And the first thing I did was, where are my quick wins? Quick wins, get your team on board. And second, get your GM and owners on board. I mean, they were already on board if they already hired me, right? But get the team on board. And one thing that was very, very clear, and one thing I knew, we were doing amazing treatments. We just needed to just brushen up the bedside manners. But once those were brushed up, then our treatments were worth double the price. And what I did is I severely reduced the treatment menu and only sold a handful of massages. That's it, at super high prices. It cost hardly anything to reprint treatments, no time wasted really on too much training. And within 8 months, we hit budget in 1 month in terms of operational profit and loss, top line and bottom line. You need to give your people a win. And it's not only your GM and your owners. Trust me, your team's morale is so different when they know they're smashing budget compared to when they know that they're barely reaching budget each month. So when you deliver that quick win, you actually make sure that that bridge, the foundation, is solid. So today, I just wanted to jump on here and talk about this, this phenomenon or this this difficult situation I'm seeing our wellness leaders face. You are leading from the middle, and that's a complete, that's a reality. And it's also a reality that is the hardest job possible. And the thing that has happened is that your role as a wellness leader has evolved so quickly that the industry has not had time, or your hotel has not had time to catch up in terms of training. So yes, of course it's hard. And it has nothing to do with your competence. You can learn those skills, and you need to know that. Because once you know that, you stop blaming yourself for feeling burnt out and too tired. Then the second thing is you have to understand the influence you have already. You are doing it on a day-to-day basis. You have to find a way to communicate it in a language that your GM understands. And lastly, focus on one thing. Keep your life simple. Make it easy for yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do one thing and do it so well and see it past the finish line, because both ends will really thank you for that. And if you want to know how to do that in more detail, in May, I will be running 3 free masterclasses. So the same masterclass in 3 different times, where I will be teaching you wellness leaders how you can actually manage this middle role that you have far more effectively and actually come out being at that top. So instead of being that small little kind of, filling right in the middle with 2 huge sandwiches, you're actually that huge middle with very small little sandwiches at the top, at the bottom. So That is what I'll be doing. Keep your eyes peeled because I'll be sending the registration link to the masterclasses. And on that note, I wish you all a beautiful day ahead. Take care now.